Hi beautiful souls, welcome back to my channel. This video is for their next actions in love towards you, and this is a collective reading, so be sure to take what resonates and leave what doesn't. What are their next actions in love towards them? What's their next action of love towards their significant other? What's their next action of love towards their significant other? What's their next action of love to their significant other? What's their next action of love towards their significant other? What can they expect from their significant other with change in love? What's their next action of love towards their significant other? They're going to be taking a lot of leadership now. They're ready to, oh, we have some good cards here. So they're going to be taking a lot of leadership now. They're going to be taking on the leadership role. Their next action of love is kind of like stepping up and being more authority, not over you, but kind of taking on a role of whether that's like wife or husband, you know, like really standing in it and being what a husband or wife should be to you, you know, where they're like, oh, you know, I'm a man, so I want to be sure I'm leading you properly. I want to be sure to be taking the trash out and making sure your car's already filled with gas and making sure our reservations is already made. You know, that is going to be how they step up in a way. They're kind of like this masculine energy of like, I'm going to make sure the job gets done. And that could be male or female. And then we have the magician, where they are going to be recognizing their power, recognizing how much they can really create a beautiful reality amongst you two, where they can really, they're realizing how much control they can really have if they use the tools that they already have to bring forth the things that they really want out of this relationship, and how they can really just manifest whatever out of this, like realizing you've already given them the tools. They just have to put it together to kind of create a certain type of environment that you are looking for. We also have the Five of Cups, and this tells me that they feel bad about the certain areas that they've let you down. Like they feel like, oh wow, I've done so many things, I've messed up in so many ways, or I kind of just dropped the ball, and they're kind of not really over that. They feel like you may not be over it, but they are trying to realize that there's still so much like room for growth. There's a lot of room to improve, and that's really what they're trying to do. Your significant other is really trying to take on the masculine role of, things should run through me, things should go through me, and they're just seeing how much like they weren't in that position and how much they might have really dropped the ball in the role that they could be playing. And now they're at a point where they're like, okay, you know what, let me just step up and let me use what she's already given me. She's kind of, or he has given me this space where I can transform and I can create a reality that I want to create for us. So let me just do that, and not focus too much on the things that weren't working. There could have been a point where it felt like they weren't doing enough, or they weren't giving enough to the relationship. and maybe you were feeling bored, or maybe feeling like the relationship was stagnant, and they're aware of that. Now they're trying to make it so the glass is half full instead of half empty. They're really trying to change the narrative of what your relationship was looking like, because they realize that that's not really the relationship that they actually want. They actually want the relationship to be more fun and lifelike, more emotionally deep and spiritual. They kind of like spiritually connected more so. They are looking for something where, you know, you never actually get bored of one another. And they're realizing that. So some of your partners can realize like, hey, you know, I was in a space where I shouldn't have been. I'm also hearing for some of you, if your relationship isn't this developed, that this could be your crush or someone that you like is stepping up to ask you out, you know, and that they're ready to kind of be like, you know, let me just take the lead. She's like, she or he isn't going to ask me out on a date, so let me just do it, and let me just kind of like put my best foot forward. And they're realizing that they have the power to do this. They have the power to manifest exactly what they want out of this relationship with you, and that they kind of know you pretty well, so they already have their tools that they need. They could be feeling like they're going to be rejected. They're afraid of that change, or afraid of being like afraid of you basically saying no, but really they have no clue that, you know, your relationship has developed to the point where you're both just kind of looking at each other like, hey, you know, this is a great time to ask. This would be great. It would be really good. And then we also have the Hermit, the Five of Pentacles, and the Fool. So your partner could be feeling like, you know, they've been going through some things alone for a while, and mentally they've kind of just been trapped in their head. Maybe they're not really going through something physically, but they've possibly been very trapped in their head and just kind of wondering what the next step is for them. And they were kind of feeling like left out in the cold for a while. Maybe they felt like you weren't really interested in them for some of you, or like because that's the energy I'm getting from these last four. Like maybe you weren't really that interested, or they didn't know exactly how to feel about you, but they're at that point now where they're ready to take a leap of faith. They're ready to like kind of jump out there and see like, hey, maybe I can try my hand. Maybe I can see if like she or he is willing to take it to the next step or accept what's going on. For some of you that your relationship is a lot more developed, this could be, you know, you in your relationship, they were kind of going through a space in time where they felt more lonely, and they may have felt a lot more left out in the relationship, like they just weren't receiving what they needed emotionally, or maybe you guys weren't there for each other. Maybe you guys hadn't met yet, but either way, they were just going through something alone and really feeling like, you know, the odds just weren't ever working in their favor. And now they're ready to change things around about your relationship, where they're like, you know what, let me spice this up. Let me really jump forward and take some more initiative. What else do they need to know about love? And now they're just like, you know what, I have this newfound energy. I have this newfound like faith in our relationship, or I have this newfound faith in myself to ask this person out and kind of take our relationship forward. And they're going to do so. They're going to make their move because they have this new faith. Yeah, they have like this, oh, wait a minute, what are these? Okay. They have this like, this energy of like, you know, I've kind of been maintaining. We've been maintaining, whether it's like you're in a relationship, you've been maintaining and kind of keeping things very stable. And that's been cool or whatever, but it's not really taking us very far. We want something a lot more, with a lot more growth. They're looking to have something that's not just stable, not something that's like, they feel like this is stability at this moment, but it feels still like it's not as strong as it could be. It's still a little flimsy. It could go either way. So they're really manifesting you. They're manifesting your relationship. They're manifesting taking it to the next step and making it a lot more rock solid, stable. They're manifesting like either pushing your relationship back into like a lively position where you have that energy again. There's this burst of like happiness again and stability again, where you're just in the position like you want to be in again. If not, then this person is manifesting their date with you. If you guys aren't in a relationship yet with your significant other, then they're manifesting a relationship with you because they're already really close to you. So this could be someone that's just a friend, a coworker or something like that, or someone that's just been around and has been afraid of like really asking you out. But there's going to be some stability coming through. There's going to be some common ground where everything kind of like plays out properly, so that person asks you out on the date, or is ready to ask you to take it to the next step in your relationship. Or, you know, if you are already in a relationship and you're not already married, then that could be you guys finding common ground and ready to level up your relationship, stepping in the right direction of, you know, a very what do you call that, a very, yeah, a lot of stability, a lot of common ground, I guess. Really just where you guys are on the same page, you're happy, everything feels good, everything is like right how it's supposed to. And there will be a lot of hard work going into this relationship. There's going to be a lot of work just going into it. Relationships are always work. You're gonna have to put in energy and effort for this relationship to keep its life, to keep its spark, to keep that flame going, or to just getting to know one another. There's apologies, returns, and sorries. So whether you are in a relationship or not, maybe this person feels like, you know, I'm sorry I didn't come and ask you out on a date sooner, or your partner could be apologizing, saying, you know, I'm sorry, things got the way they got in our relationship. I want us to work things out. I want things to get better for us. So your significant other is definitely feeling like, I feel like a lot of your significant others may be a man, and like they're just really stepping up and just standing on business with you, where they're just like, you know, I'm gonna be a man about this. Like, I'm gonna be honest about this. I'm gonna correct this relationship. I'm gonna fix these things. I'm gonna fix where I went wrong and what I did, you know. And they're okay with that. They're also in a position where they're like, I know that like maybe we were feeling like kind of hurt by one another, or I caused some pain in this relationship, possibly by like not being as attentive, or I caused pain by ignoring you. I had a lot of pride and ego, and I was a little stubborn, you know, but I feel like we're soulmates, and that, you know, we're supposed to be together. They feel like you guys should really be tied in with one another, like you guys were meant for each other. And yeah, they have a lot of emotions that they go through by themselves. Like, there are a lot of sorrow and grief and depression, and they have a lot of realizations, which could also be that Hermit card. The sorrow could be the Hermit card, where they were just really in their head and they were really just going through things by themselves, emotionally, on their own, you know. And then they have the realization cards, understanding and awakening, realizing exactly how much this relationship means to them, or how much that they really want to be around you. For some of you that aren't in the relationship yet, you know, like they're realizing how much they really want to be around you, how much they value you, how much they value the relationship. This person is saying like they'd be spying on your social media. This person keeps an eye on you. They're always like keeping tabs on you and seeing what you're doing next, and they want to know like what you're up to and how can they get close to you, or how can they use the information you've already given them or you've already put out into the world to their benefits to impress you, or bring it back to their relationship and pour it into the relationship that you already have. They're hoping and having faith and manifesting. What did I say? They were manifesting you. They're manifesting putting your relationship in a much better spot. They're manifesting getting closer to you again. Or for some of you that aren't fully together and developed, and they're manifesting the possible relationship or a possible date and taking it and being more steady. This person really has hopes of being with you. Let's see. What else do we have? Is there anything else that they need to know about this relationship? Or where else it's going? They feel like you guys are kind of like, some of you could feel stuck with this person, or like you've had them for a long time. Some of you could have been dating this person for a really long time. Some of you, some of your partners may have just felt stuck in the relationship for a while, or trapped in their own heads, or stuck in a situation. And we have return, second chance opportunities, and making amends. They're really looking to like fix this relationship and start over. Twin flame. Yeah, they feel like you guys are twin flames. They feel like you guys are soulmates. They feel like you guys were meant to be together. Like this was exactly where they belong, exactly how things were supposed to play out for them. And they are not easing up. So for some of you, this could be former partners where they just felt like, you know, I messed this relationship up and now I'm trying to get it back. But they're definitely going to be stepping up and trying to push for a date with you, where they're trying to impress you. They're trying to do whatever they can to get back in your good graces and make amends with you. And for those of you that are still in a relationship, your partner is like looking for a second chance. Like, hey, you know, like I didn't mean to allow our flame to go out so deeply. Let's re-spark and rekindle us again. Let's pull us back together. And for those that are still single, your partner or the person that's around you, I'm hearing for a lot of you that it's really just a friend that's around you, and you've kind of been hinting that you like that person and they know that you like them, and they kind of just been ignoring the fact that you like them and kind of been putting their attention elsewhere. And now they're like, hey, you know what, maybe I should give you a chance. Maybe I should, I'll take that as confirmation. Maybe I should put my energy towards you and give this a chance. And I'm sorry that I didn't see at first. I'm sorry, like my ego was in the way. I didn't want to mess up our relationship, you know, things of that nature. So I hope that this message resonated with you guys. And if it did, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I upload new videos every week and I go live on Sundays. And I hope I see you guys in my next video. Bye.